What's up guys, Sloth here, and today we are featuring more gameplay from Gods of Olympus, and I am going to be focusing on a very simple but effective low level strategy. If you missed my beginner's guide for Gods of Olympus, a little bit more explanation about the game and an introduction for it to the channel, then you can check that out by clicking the I button on the top right of the screen at any point throughout this video. Now with this strategy, you will first deploy Athena, and you will immediately use the Aegis skill. This creates a shield absorbing 70% of the damage, so it's obviously a good skill to start with. I did mention in my beginner's video that alongside Zeus, I would recommend Athena and Ares as your initial gods. When battling and you've already deployed Athena, I would then recommend Zeus as he has a little bit more health and you can use the chain lightning spell depending on how many troops are defending, or lightning storm to do a higher amount of damage to surrounding buildings. Your final god within this strategy is Ares, and I would try and keep him to the back so he's well protected because he doesn't have as much health, but he does do a massive amount of damage. Now again, if there's a lot of defending troops, you can use the Whirlwind Attack in order to push them off, but his main advantage I feel is Battle Charge, which is a very powerful skill, smashing him forward into buildings, providing large amounts of damage, and a lot of the time at low level, you can just bulldoze bases. For example, in this first replay, I could very easily deploy my gods at the top here next to the temples and just power straight through them, but you do want to try and think somewhat as to where to place your gods. I decide to deploy them right next to the academies and archer ranges because this is where the defending troops will be, and that's most of the time what causes you the main issue. I can take them out easily here without being under fire from any of the defences, and then it means I don't have to worry about defending troops constantly attacking my gods. You can see that the Whirlwind Attack by Ares was very useful during this stage because it helped to push all them defending troops away and keep my other gods well protected. Once these are down, I can move forward and start taking out some of the defences. Because the defences are in a line here, it makes it perfect for Ares, so I can position him and use the Battle Charge skill to push myself right the way through them and take them all out. That is the power of Battle Charge and why I would recommend it low level, and like I say, you can just bulldozer a lot of bases at this level, and it certainly is very helpful if you're going to do that. So at this point, I've eliminated everything which is going to cause my gods any issue, so it's just a case of waiting until they take down all of the temples. And that's it for the strategy. It's very simple, isn't it? And a lot of you probably use these gods in a very similar manner. These gods are very common to start with, and the skills do just flow into each other very nicely, but I did thought I would bring it just in case any of you guys wanted a strategy to start taking out bases and get you going with Gods of Olympus. So looking at this second base, this is a little more common of what you will see at this level, with the temples a little bit more spread out, buildings kind of scattered around in between them, and I'm going to come at this a little bit different from the first base. I'm still considering my route of attack, but I'm not going to eliminate all of the other buildings. I'm going to move my gods to and from each of the temples. So I'm starting down at the south here, so this is where you can see all of the defending troops coming out of the archer ranges and academies, so you do have to be careful here. Make sure you get a balance between taking these out and not letting them swarm your gods and still doing damage to the temples. I can use Chain Lightning and Whirlwind in order to keep these under control. I'm then going to move my gods away from this area. I'm not going to take out any of these buildings and slowly move around, and you can see a clear path in towards the next temple. Again, as my skills recharge, I can reuse them in order to keep these defending troops under control. At this point, I've lost formation and Zeus is out in front, so he will be absorbing most of the damage. I'm therefore going to use Athena's Summon Hoplites skill so that I'm not wasting time, and this can then recharge and at least I have some other troops of my own. So as much as I recommend having Athena out in front absorbing damage, you do have to be somewhat flexible and adapt to the situation. You don't want to be sitting on skills, you want to be using them so they're constantly recharging and ready to go, because these are what really power up your attacks. You could see that once I was down to the last temple, I just used Battle Charge to push Ares forward and take it straight out. So let's summarise the strategy with this last raid, where we're just going to bulldozer it because all of the temples are together and we should be able to take this down fairly easily. Firstly, we deploy Athena and immediately use the Aegis skill in order to start absorbing damage. Zeus and Ares can then be deployed in order to join the fight, as Athena is absorbing the damage at this point. I used Zeus's Chain Lightning and Ares' Whirlwind Attack in order to take out the nearby troops. However, if there's not many around, I would recommend using Zeus's Lightning Storm and Ares' Battle Charge to do large amounts of damage to whatever it is you want to take out, whether that's defences, other buildings, the temples themselves. I always like to wrap things up with Battle Charge as my finishing move to smash through the remaining temple. So that wraps it up for this low level strategy video for Gods of Olympus. Make sure to let me know what gods you have and how you like to attack down in the comments below, or any other feedback you have on the game for that matter. I've been your host Eurosloth. Make sure to subscribe for more Gods of Olympus, and until next time, peace out guys.